folks, and welcome to the July 6th edition of the Monday Morning Moves. Good old Marge. We're broadcasting live today across the globe. It's great to have you joining us today on the live stream at YouTube. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel, Monday Morning Moves, each week at 10 a.m. Eastern, 7 a.m. Pacific. We will be coming to you live to discuss the latest hot topics in the dairy industry. Along with my show producer and co-host, the Cow Sultan, each week we will discuss a dairy industry problem and search for a solution by talking to the experts. Cow Sultan, this is our 6th week on this program and we're still trucking along.
Yeah, Foxy, good morning. We had a lot of new subscribers this past week. We're building the audience. So that might have something to do a little more with our all-star guests than it has to do with us, but we'll just keep talking.
I am putting this handsome face out there every Monday morning. Eventually, I hope to cash in on that.
I think you should. I think you should.
Yeah. Well, what problem can we help with this week?
Well, Foxy, this week we're going to talk about the biggest problem facing every dairy farmer around the world, but especially in the United States.
I know what that is.
What's that?
Low milk price.
Yeah, that is a problem, but that's not the problem we're talking about today. Today we're going to be talking about labor and employees.
Okay.
Yeah, labor management is going to be the biggest dairy, unanimously, anybody you talk to, the biggest challenge that the dairy farmer faces is going to be managing their labor force.
Well, I hear that all the time, and managing employees is very different than managing the cows. Is there any advice that we can dish out on the show this morning that could help small business owners, especially dairy farmers, with managing their employees?
Well, Foxy, in my travels, I had an opportunity to cross paths with Mrs. Cheri DeJong, CEO of AgriVision Farm Management. She's a very prominent figure in the dairy industry. She operates multiple dairy farms and farming operations. Last week, they told us that when we did a pre-interview, they manage over 400 employees in their dairy operations and farming operations. In my opinion, AgriVision Farm Management are cutting edge when it comes to employee management and employee empowerment. So I made arrangements for Ms. DeJong to join us today and talk a little bit about what it's like to manage employees. Good morning, Cheri. How are you today?
Good morning to you all. So nice to be here. It's a beautiful day in the Texas Panhandle, but we are expecting dry and hot conditions later this week, which are not conducive to our crops and our cows. But as farmers, we just have to adjust with what Mother Nature gives us. But I'm very happy to be with you all today.
Well, I say good morning to you too, Mrs. DeJong. How are things in the Lone Star State other than dry and hot? They're beautiful, you say, right?
They're beautiful. Yes, they are. Yes, they are.
You know, we're all about cows here on the Monday Morning Moves, and we know that you love cows too. However, dealing with cattle all day can challenge anyone, I'm sure.
That's right. We talked about boss cows on the show. They're lovable cows are lovable creatures, but in reality, they're not always the most fun animals to deal with on a daily basis. And that's why cowboys are some of the toughest dudes on the planet, right, Foxy?
Well, that's right. So, Cheri, how do you train and motivate employees to treat your cattle with the same standards that you desire them to do?
Yeah, so first of all, we call our close to 400 employees, we call them team members. They are most certainly part of a team here at our dairy and farm operations here in Texas, Colorado, and then also recently Indiana. Our team members are crucial to the success of our dairy farms. They care for the cows in the areas of milking and breeding and feeding, and yet they also care for our crops in areas like planting and harvesting and various other things that they do on the farms. Everyone should and does work together to produce the best quality feed and the outstanding care for our cows to make the highest quality milk that's nutritious, for our customers and ultimately to the actual consumers. Here on our farms, we have developed a management model with 4 levels of competence. As our team members move up the levels of competence, they receive higher pay and more responsibility on the farm. So our 4 levels encompass level 1, directing, which is basically understanding what you're doing. Level 2, coaching, so that you demonstrate what it is that you're supposed to be doing. L3, supporting, so you master what you are doing, whether it's near feeding, breeding, all that stuff. And then L4 is delegating and teaching. And we have a series of training and certification programs here on our farm for each of our career areas. And the training is done and tests are given to make sure that our team members understand and exhibit what they have learned. This keeps them motivated, and it keeps them continuing to learn and educate themselves within our organization, which is critical. As one reaches a level 4, they have the opportunity then to be part of our supervisor academy, which is a 6-week program to help educate team members to potentially be a supervisor here at our farm. And it's truly a great experience for them to learn how to lead and supervise a team.
All right, great. Now, Cheri, you're dealing with some language barriers, usually with the type of farm workers that are available to you, and there are also many cultural differences as well. In previous discussions with you, for me, one word really stands out, and that word is assimilation, right? So play that one in your Scrabble game, Foxy.
I already did that.
So, yeah, I think that AgriVision Farm Management, they really aim for the stars when it comes to helping their employees assimilate in the United States and into their local neighborhoods. Can you speak to this vision as the Chief of AgriVision Farm Management?
Sure. So we utilize the TN Visa program to recruit team members from universities in Mexico. It's been a great way to get well-qualified people here in the U.S. that have a passion for farming and for cattle. We also utilize the H-2A visa program, which for some of our seasonal work on our farming operations like harvesting and pasture operations. So knowing that these team members come from different cultures, it's critical that when they get here that we really try to make them part of our culture, not only our farming culture here, but here in the U.S. So we offer English classes to help them at least learn some English so that they can, go around town with the, communities and to be a part of those things, as well as a tutoring program for their children to give them a little bit of a boost in the class, because we know that maybe the parents don't, if they can't read or write really well, it's very hard to help them with homework. So that's been a great program for us as well. But these programs have really helped our team members, at least in part, be a part of that culture and help educate them about the different things here in the U.S.
Well, that's a great answer. The more I think about that, you use the word assimilation if you walk in the parlor and you got 4 guys or girls in there milking cows, and it's hard to communicate with them on an issue or whatever. So that's good that you're teaching them how to learn the English language. Just a personal thing. When I took Dale Carnegie course a long time ago, we were taught the 12 ways to be successful in business. Our instructor said, if you can't remember all 12, then at least remember the number 1, which is the 3 C's: never criticize, condemn, or complain. And that's good to practice all the time in life, for sure. But basically, we were taught that if you're going to criticize an employee, first pick a strong point of that employee and compliment them in a sincere manner before getting to the root of the problem. Is that needs to be corrected. So how do you correct an individual when they drift from procedure and somewhat violate the rules, if you would?
Sure. So the first thing that we do, so we back all the way up, is that we recruit the right people to get into our businesses. So when we recruit and we interview, we make sure that they have a passion for either cows, crops, or the equipment that they run, right? And if they don't have that passion, we can usually tell, and they don't last very long. But it's real critical that you get the right people on the bus first. And sure, if issues come up, we have a system in place with verbal and written warnings. We have a whole process. Sure, but that is why we spend so much time educating and training. So when they first come on board, they are onboarded here in the office about, rules, regs, all that good stuff. But then they're really taken under the wing out there on the farm, and they're educated. And they're educated not only about our SOPs and the process, but why. Why are they doing, why is it that we strip the cows 3 times or whatever it might be? There is a reason for that. And so educating them on the why, and so is key. And when something happens with someone, we usually look in the mirror like, did I not train them the right way?
Right.
What did I do wrong? And how can I, as a supervisor, be better to make sure that they, do better next time, and or with the next person that comes in, how can I train them better? The key here is animal welfare training. We spend a lot of time. Our business culture is all about, care of the cows, our animal welfare training. If somebody should we have a policy, if you harm a cow in any way, you are immediately fired. You don't even get through the process of, warnings and stuff like that.
Right.
So we take it very seriously, and education is really about everything here.
Yeah, I mean, that culture of the cow the cows pays for the paycheck of everybody there at the farm, and creating that environment of explaining the why to everyone, I think makes a lot of sense. People want to know why they're doing it a certain way, like you say. Why are we doing the milk? We talked about that earlier on this show. Why are you doing the milking procedure this way? They need to understand how that works. So
we have a saying here that the cows don't lie. If something's wrong, they will tell us. And caring for the cow is the most important thing. And as you see, the cow is the one that makes the milk, which makes it possible for us to get paid. So technically, the cow pays everybody here on the farm.
Mm-hmm.
I've been in business for 45 years, been on a lot of farms over those years. And I've seen times when you might have 1 or 2 boys coming into the business. This guy likes the cows and that guy likes agronomy. So the dad puts the agronomy guy with the cows and the cow guy with it don't work. You find their strong points, just like you said. And that's where they should be, right? If they're interested in it, let them go, So, well, anyway, we sure enjoyed you coming on. This agrivision thing sounds like a pretty neat thing. So we thank you for your time.
Thank you, Cheri.
You're very welcome.
Thank you for coming on. You got 400 employees and a bunch of cows to manage. Appreciate you taking time out of your busy day to come and share with all of us here today. Thank you.
Sure thing.
Well, Mr. Consultant, I got a question for you. I don't know. You haven't been able to answer hardly any of my questions.
Hey, I bring good guests, so I might not have all the answers, but I bring some good guests on the show.
You do. No question about it. So the question for today is, why did the cow jump over the moon? You know that one. It's old.
Why did the cow jump over the moon? So
the moon.
The cow jumped over the moon.
To get to the Milky Way. Okay? You got it. You knew that.
To what?
To get to the Milky Way.
Oh, okay.
The Milky Way out there?
Okay.
All right, listen, I guess with that one, I think we'll call it a wrap.
Before I talked to a couple people this week, and they said, "Hey, man, we really, really like your show. It's a nice show," but they said the jokes have really got to improve.
Yeah, they do, and they're gonna when I start writing them. Okay.
All right.
I'm continually looking forward to this broadcast every Monday, but I do have a final comment before we go. I am glad we are recording these broadcasts in Monday Morning Moves. Here's why. Any dairy farmer across the globe needs to hear what Cheri brought to our show this morning, and recording lets them see it any time or multiple times for pointers from our guests. When I think of all the different tasks on a dairy farm, I'm reminded of that old saying, If it ain't easy, it won't get done. So reaching that right combination of tasks that are easy and tasks that are difficult, I feel we've provided some insight today to help with those situations. So I think it was a great show today. Let's keep this up. And I just got a gut feel before you know it, we'll be competing for a time slot with 60 minutes. Yeah, you betcha. Mm-hmm. Well, Mr. Carl Sultan, it's time to sign off the air. So for the Carl Sultan, this is Gail Foxworthy, wishing all of you the best of goodbyes.
And